Now to more on the jury selection process and the challenge of finding 12 impartial jurors and 6 alternates. Fox 5's Linda Schmidt continues our live team coverage with more on that part of the story. Hey, Linda.
Yeah, hi there, Natasha. Well, first of all, as you can imagine, this has to be a lot of pressure for most of the potential jurors. They are sitting in the courtroom looking directly at a former U.S. president. They're just feet away from him, knowing that they could end up deciding whether he gets convicted and possibly goes to jail.
More than half of the 96 people in the first pool of potential jurors raised their hands saying they could not be fair and unbiased and were excused by the judge. Legal experts agree finding 12 jurors and 6 alternates is going to be difficult, but attorney Dante Mills says there is an upside to the large number of jurors being dismissed.
Thankfully, people are being honest, because there's some people who are going to try and talk themselves onto the jury so they can get a book deal or know that there's some publicity that may come from being a jury member. But
how do lawyers know if a potential juror is trying to game the system to get on the jury? Attorney Mills is not connected to the Trump trial, but he has selected many juries. And he says seasoned attorneys have experience and gut instinct when questioning potential jurors.
The way they answer the question, the way they look at you, the way they interact with you. There's sometimes I look at somebody and they're giving me the answers that I want to hear, but I can just tell in their face that it's not really what they mean.
He says in this case, jury selection will be long and tedious.
I think they're going to go through probably 1,000 jurors, and I'm not exaggerating, but they're going to have to be patient with it.
During Trump's civil trial with columnist E. Jean Carroll, the jury was anonymous. Their names were secret. It will be the same in this trial.
A lot of times in jury selection, even the attorneys, they don't know the names of the jury. They're called by numbers when you're in court addressing them, because you want to protect these people, not only from the people involved in the case, but from the outside world.
And by the way, no matter how long it takes or how difficult it is, they have to select a jury. They do not have a choice here. There is no giving up. Natasha, back over to you.